the Ukrainian ambassador to the UK, Vadym Prystaiko, is with us. Hello to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Can we start with that exclusive report there from Alex Bakhmut? It depends who you talk to as to whether it's strategically important or not. What's your view?
I believe it is important to engage their forces, to allow us a bit more time to reinforce, reschedule our supplies and start our counteroffensive.
The same amount of losses on both sides we're being told at the moment.
I can imagine that losses are huge. We don't know the exact number, neither Russians, by the way. But, you know, nobody knew this town, even in Ukraine before. It was not that significant, it's not that big. But how many lives were lost, I believe that will come into history books.
Why does your government not tell us about casualties?
Because we are 18 times smaller than Russia. We have to find our strength to fight back. We have to fight our soldiers among the civilians. That's what we're doing right now. We're training them. So we don't want the enemy know how much reserves we still have. But we have enough. The million people were already trained and went through the war effort, this huge army.
You need more ammunition?
Definitely we need more ammunition, not light arms, we need more ammunition, sophisticated. As we discussed with you many times, the small Red Army won't defeat the big Red Army, so we have to get back better than this Russian army.
Talk to us about your president's Whistlestop tour of Europe. Why was he doing that?
Because we are obviously preparing for the very big push and we need to secure some of the supplies, we need to secure some of the intelligence and sometimes this political support, what we are now receiving. See, with all these announcements of the NATO support and all of this, the reconstruction which is coming here to the next months, this is all important. It's one big package.
Is it joined up thinking with all of the European countries, or is the president having to do different deals with each one?
I believe that Europe is very much united right now. It's getting there. We started quite difficult. We have to explain to each and every nation. Some nations were at the front line, like yourselves, United States, Canada, but then you know, look at Germany. They're now second biggest supplier of the arms, and they started with 500 helmets.
That's true. Why does he feel the need to travel to these countries? Because, of course, he up until recently, he hasn't travelled at all out of the country.
Yeah, he's quite a busy man. I agree with you. But it's not a secret that this is very important, this particular counteroffensive. And so many people are putting their bets on how the Ukrainian army will perform. And from there, they will make up their minds whether to help us with more stuff or to cool it down.
And what's his relationship, your president's relationship with Rishi Sunak as opposed to Boris Johnson?
I believe that President Zelenskyy is a lovable person. Himself, he likes people. He found himself in a totally different sort of situation when he was going into the presidency. But he likes people. He established these contacts. And although your Prime Minister Johnson and the current Prime Minister are very different people, but Zelenskyy found something very personal in both of them.
You talk about the push. We'd heard it be described previously as a spring offensive. There will be a significant loss of life on both sides, I'm anticipating.
I'm totally aware of that. And I knew it from the very first day, more than 1 year and a half ago, that it would cost us dearly. We talked in this studio. I told you that it won't be a walk in park, we'll fight. And we knew that many of our people will die, both military and civilians. But that's the price we're paying for our way of living.
And that continues even in the capital. Thankfully, no deaths with the latest assault. But nonetheless, Russia trying to send you another message overnight.
My brother is sending me real messages, the pictures from Kyiv. He's in Kyiv with his family. So I quite know what is happening there. But even he's saying after this year of war, this is getting really, really scary. So I understand the message, and all of us do. But we sometimes manage to get all the 100% of the rockets and drones being sent against us with the help of our many friends. And look at it, Germans supplied the IRIS-T, this machine, this equipment, which allows 100% of hits. So we are trying to secure our skies. That's why we need the jets, to really clear them out of our skies.
No, you weren't really promised jets, though, were you, during his visit yesterday?
We've been promised very important stuff is the pilot training. You know, we had this strange conversation, this vicious circle of conversation when we have to explain our partners that we need planes, and they will tell, yeah, but the training of pilots will take 2 years. And we say, exactly. If we started training before, like a year ago, we would have now almost trained pilots, and then we decide, political decision will be taken, which planes we'll take. Now we make our mind. We need F-16s at least now. We might come to different types, but F-16s. I know, but you can provide our basic training. And again, as many cases before, you're sort of pushing the boundary a bit, pushing the line, crossing the next, maybe it's not red line, but very important line for many other allies.
So does that mean that given that pilots take 2 years to be trained, that you're expecting this war to go on for that long?
No, we're not expecting. What we expect and what we know, that we have trained pilots, which are flying right now in our airplanes. They're a bit different, but this is trained pilots. Some of them had hundreds and hundreds of flights. And it's not just flights, the flights, this battle. So they are very much prepared. We need to train them how to switch to the combined sort of fight with different flights, different jets on somebody else's jets.
Do you wonder what's happened to Alexander Lukashenko?
Obviously we wonder, and we understand that in their society, they very much, more or less everything depends on the leader because it is a dictatorial regime. So the change of regime will definitely bring the change to the society. And we have to be prepared. We are very close to Belarusians. That's more or less the same nation as us. So we want them to live better. We want them to learn from our lessons. And this is one of the lessons that we have to get rid from the dictators.
Do you think that he will return to his position?
He might return, but his position is weakened, not by his health now, which is additional sort of weakness, but by his position with the Putin. He is positioning himself with the Putin against everybody else.
What do you think's happened to him?
Listen, I don't actually want to know the personal life and personal health story. I might have be sympathetic to personal. I met him a couple of times personally when I worked before. What bothers me that how it will bring the whole nation down, the whole system, because it is so much hierarchically centered around him, all these people around him, all the cronies.
Are you not more anxious that somebody who may replace him would be more of a Putin, even more of a Putin supporter?
We heard about that with Putin. What would happen if Putin steps down and somebody else will come? Let's wait and see. I know that many Belarusians are supporting us. There is a thinking that he is not in the war with Russia because he is not sure if he gives the weapons, the live weapons to his people, where they will turn these Kalashnikovs against, maybe him. So the people in Belarus, we believe that they will be very supportive. They will just need a chance to clear their own system.
Okay. We spoke recently about the situation in Odessa when it comes to grain. It does look as though that's stalled again for now. What is the latest situation as you understand it?
Yeah, this deal, this grain deal, which is, in our case, this allowing us to, to earn our money in dignity. That's our grain. We wanted to sell it, but it's more important that we're feeding so many hundreds of millions around the globe. And because Russians also understand the political importance of this, they are blocking, finding different reasons not to allow it to happen. The biggest problem is now that they're bombarding the silos where we're keeping them, and we have new harvest coming. This is the biggest problem. And people know that you can replace ships with the trains. I have those calculations. We'll need 4 years of all the trains used just to be able to take all these grains which the ships are taking.
Okay, so who can help?
We are helping. We've been helped by Turkey. We've been helped by UN. But what will really help, if we finish up the war, we'll clear up the mines in the Black Sea, because it's again mine after 70 years of big war. So then the ships will come back and get all the grain.
Okay, when can we see President Zelenskyy in the UK again?
We sometimes like the surprises. We have to keep this way until the war is over.
Okay, quite a surprise to us. I'm sure it wasn't to you.
Not that much, but also quite surprising.
Okay, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming in to talk to us.